What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another late night thoughts episode. Hey, with your boy Kazi. So for tonight, thinking about hitting you guys with some of the toxic things in your life that you don't necessarily need to put up with. To have have it drag you down and making you miserable, or it's just maybe it's just a constant annoyance. Um, we'll find out as we get through and see where you guys think. First, I want to point out the major toxic thing that I stay away from, without a doubt. I mean, I only have a one rule policy when it comes to this. Sorry, a one strike. I don't even mess with three strikes. Yeah, it's one and done. As soon as you hit that nerve of toxicity, you're gone. Gone. Done. Um, and that's people who have got to constantly one up you, or like downgrade you, whether that's personal, one-on-one conversation, to you're in a group of your friends or family, and they just gotta throw these one-liners at you that is meant to insult you, but they try to cover it with a joke. Get them out. That shit don't belong, man. You need to surround yourself with people who, that might tease you, but that they come from a good place, and they mean for it to be a joke, not some underlying, hidden agenda. You can see the headlights in my background. Anyone who has an underlying agenda, it's so easy to spot. I mean, if you can't tell that someone is saying or doing something to benefit from it, and whether it's at the expense of you or your items, but it's easy to tell. I mean, we all know what it is. Gotta get it out of there. You don't need that in your life. Plain and simple. And I mean, whether that comes to, one of those friends or family members that, call as needed, when they need from you, but when you need help or assistance from them. Oh, hey. Say hi, Gracie. It's my little Doji. My little Doji Gracie. Uh, anyways, yeah, and when you need something from them, help, or if you just want to call and chat, they ignore your phone calls. Yeah. See the signs. See the signs. It's not hard to miss. Change your thought process, when it comes to friends and family. You don't have to have them. I mean, do you need them? Everyone can get along just fine by themselves. And don't get me wrong, you need to keep the good people. You need to keep the ones that they reciprocate the love and the help and all that. The relationship is working from both ways. It's not just a revolving door coming from one side. They tend to skew your point of view. Sorry, not your point of view. They tend to skew what you model what a friend should be, a real friend. And that's bad. That's really bad. No friend or family member. No. 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 Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Kick them to the curb. Stop contacting them. Just get it out. I mean, you're better off. You really are. Because all those people is just want. They want you to give them something. All the time. Whether it's money, a ride, a toy, a game. I mean, you name it. From A to Z, man. It's ridiculous. So, know the signs. Kick them to the curb. Your life will be better for it. And you'll find actual relationships with people that deserve it and that deserve your time. Not just wasting it. So, I mean, my goal here is to help you jump ahead of that learning curve that normally takes people a decade, you know? Like, I mean, and even longer. There are some people that are still doing it to this day, and they're in their fucking 30s and 40s, you know what I'm saying? Jump over the curb, that learning curve, and change your life for the better in that regard. Another toxic thing to get rid of and get out of your life is I kind of want to say the settling behavior for you out there who do this. You know, it's always quick to settle. You know, the people that ignore and just want things to get over and done so they can go on. When it comes to arguments, when it comes to disagreements, when it comes to not getting your way, when it comes to just bad things in general happen, you know, you accept it and you go on about your day and you don't even care about the consequences for it later. You just want it to be done and over with. So, you know, you settle. You take the current situation for what it is and you own it for some god-awful reason. And you just go about your day instead of, you know, taking the time, sitting there, take a breath, cool yourself down, breathe, then start asking questions. Get around to the reason why this is happening, why this person over here is being selfish, why this thing happened to you at a store, why did you get ripped off, why are people taking advantage of you. And like when it comes to disagreements and debates and stuff, you know, just don't jump to that extreme, in which I see a lot of people in my life do this. They just instantly jump to the gun like, oh, I know, it's just my fault. You know, what? Yeah, okay. And they try to like sucker you Um, okay, so they don't sucker you. They're settling so that they can make you look bad. You gotta stop it right then and there. Because as soon as that someone just jumps to anger that fast and they just go, oh, okay, yeah, it's all my fault. Here we go again, yada yada. That sort of behavior. Stop them right then and there. Correct it before it goes any further, because that is a rocky road to go down. You don't want to continue that train, man. Because, I mean, at that point, they feel like you're attacking them and coming at them to make them feel bad or look bad. Um, you got to get them to understand that they need to solve that problem, whatever it is, whatever the situation calls for. But you need to solve the problem then and there, talk it through, and come to a mutual conclusion that you both can agree upon. Because, I mean, if not, then you're just going to have the worst relationship with that person for years on to come until it gets resolved, which it won't by itself. It won't. And you know damn well that person ain't going to come to, they're not going to have an epiphany and suddenly change their ways. They need someone like you to intervene and properly show them and talk to them like they're a human being, like they're an adult, or like they're a teenager if you have kids. If they feel like they're being treated like a child, you need to come at it in a most neutral but productive way possible. Don't go so far to either side. You can't be attacker and defender. You got to be somewhere in the middle. People who settle normally tend to find themselves very agreeable persons, and they will be with someone intimately, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they're going to be with a very toxic person, more than likely, just because they desperately need someone. Doesn't matter who, just someone. Someone who they can call boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife, that stays in the same household with them, that they can talk to, complain to, everyday shit. Everyday shit. And no matter that, if they're getting emotionally abused, physically abused, and more likely that's what you're going to find in a person who has that trait. They're going to be with someone who's going to abuse them in some form or another. And it's such a terrible thing to see, but they gotta have somebody. Even if it's a freaking murdering psychopath. An alcoholic, a druggie. They'll settle with anybody, man. You can get them to do about anything. And that kind of comes down onto the parents there at that point, because that should have been corrected as a child. But if you're their friend and they're an adult, try to help them. Show them the error of their ways, tell them how they could do better and be better. Just apply yourself. You'll find, these little wins and just keep building from there. You don't have to be with someone just to feel like someone loves you. Everyone's loved. At least that's the hope. If not, if there isn't one person who isn't loved on this planet by at least one person, we're fucking doomed as a society. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real. Another toxic trait that you don't need to be around, that you don't need to be with if someone has this. The friend or the significant other, sibling, whatever. A person who chooses favorites. That alone should explain everything. It's so toxic. The fact that we have favorites is that creates so many problems all on its own, because in that world, they will talk about you to their favorites, or at least people that they like more than you. They're going to talk about you behind your back, and they're going to talk about the things that you do wrong and what they don't like about you, but yet they still hang around with you and they still are with you. Those... No, man. No. You are either a person... If you're a true friend or a true boyfriend or girlfriend, you're going to defend this said person. You're going to defend them. You're to everybody. It should come down to, let's say me and you, for example, if I'm going around and saying, oh, this guy right here, he's, or a girl, whatever, they don't do their laundry right. They always complain. That's toxic, man. That's toxic. I should be able to talk to these other people and say, oh, hey, yeah, it's okay. They just had a bad day. It's fine. We've all been there. It's fine. There's nothing wrong. They're cool. They're all right. They're fun. I'm not going to talk bad about them behind their back. That should only be between me and you. And so it should be, in the other way around. It should work both ways, in my opinion. Friendships, relationships with an intimate, significant other, siblings, parents, everybody that you hold dear to your heart. Every freaking episode, man. You should, have the courage and the willpower to be able to come to that person and say, hey, these people over here are talking bad about you, and they're saying this and this, and I'm not going behind your back and continuing on and egging on that sort of behavior, but I'm bringing it to your attention so that maybe you can, start to see some improvements in your relationships, and just so you know what's going on. I'm your real friend. I'm your true friend. I'm here to tell you that you're doing something wrong, and I want you to be better for it. I want you to be a better person. So I'm here telling you the hard stuff that all these fake ass people aren't going to. When it comes to someone you love, you gotta be rough. Sorry, you gotta be tough. That sounded kind of that went real dirty real fast in my mind. Oh my god. God, these late nights. You gotta be tough. You gotta be flexible. Not stern, but tough and flexible. Work with them. Don't be that person. Don't be that toxic person, man. That goes behind and critiques your friends' problems and faults to other people. That's just wrong in my opinion. Stay professional to a degree, like a colleague. Be open and upfront with this person that has these problems and faults. um, Another toxic trait that I see in men, it's super awesome. The extreme alphas, the apex predators, the ones who got to say and have everything slash anything. The ones who gotta show off and try to be the best of the best. And it kind of falls in line with that, they always gotta one up you. But we all know when I say alpha male. I mean, I could be using that terminology wrong too, but in my view, when someone says alpha male, that's what I think of. This big, dumb fool who just makes an ass out of himself trying to flex or stunt on someone just to be the best in the room. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. Why are you wasting your energy? Don't be around people like that. They're just gonna waste their time and get you into fucking situations that's gonna be awkward as fuck, or they're gonna get you fucking hurt emotionally or physically. They're dumb. They walk around and act so goddamn pretentious. Like, what do you gain out of being that kind of person? Alpha male. What do you gain? Is there like a prize? Is it that if you're at a party, you end up going with this girl at the end of the night, or this? You end up being the most popular person in the room. I mean, in my opinion, I find that to be very dangerous. To be the most popular and looked at person in the room. Like, you gotta be the loudest and have the most attention. You gotta have all the attention. That's dangerous. Because then everyone's looking at you and critiquing you and being that toxic, talking behind your back, and maybe there's another alpha male in the room that's studying your weakness and seeing how they can kick your ass or, make you look like an idiot. That, in my opinion, that's just, you're asking to get fucked up. You're asking for it. Yeah. Don't be such a noisemaker. Don't be an attention getter. I mean, there's a difference from having a moment and, having fun and just having, just such a quick moment of whether it's a conversation or doing some kind of feat that that astonishes and awes people. Like, I mean, there's exceptions to this. Don't worry. If you have these moments, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're there for. Is to interact with people and have a good time or whatever it is you're doing. But to go out of your way and do it consistently, repeatedly. Either way, I don't know. It's late, and I can't freaking think. But to do it over and over again. Just wasting your time. You're making yourself look like a fool. You're making yourself look like an idiot. Come on. Dumb. And not to mention, if you're a friend of that alpha male, oh boy. You're going to get into a lot of shit with that one. They're gonna drag you into everything to back them up. That's what you're there for. You're the fucking beta. He's the alpha. You're just there for the hype and, I mean, you're not good for anything else. Let's be honest. That's why it's toxic. Because they're better than everyone in the room. Everyone else is shit. And you will never be good enough. Never. I kind of want to drown down to uh, some of the things that I'm seeing. Uh, Particularly in between boyfriend or girlfriend, husband and wife, young couples that have kids. Um, I don't really know many same-sex couples. Um, I used to, but we all got older and I started a family, so you lose friends. It happens. Um, that's how you find out who your true friends are, by the way. It's not by having a family, but going through lifestyle changes. Going through big stuff that changes the way you live and what you can do. But for some reason, in young couples that have children, I'm starting to see a pattern where there's this pride that gets thrown in when the child is born, and it always has to do with each other's family. And in my opinion, this is pretty toxic that they do this. And I'm unfortunately seeing a uh, colleague of mine go through it, and uh, I kind of have some personal experience in this as well, unfortunately, but I got through it. Where the couple fight over about like whose grandparent, or sorry, well, actually, it works both ways. Parents and grandparents get to see like the child the most, and who does the most, and who gets the most, and like it's why is there arguments over such immature shit? I mean, you just had a child, for God's sakes. Shouldn't you be more worried about, you know, you three or four, or how many kids you have? Your immediate family. Shouldn't it just be about you guys when it comes to decisions? And I mean, I'm seeing one of the couples, like either the mom or the dad, um, favor who like gets to watch their child the most, you know, um, whose side of the family gets to babysit the most or gets to come over the most, and who do we see more of? And then it always comes down to an argument that it's always the same thing, like, well, why does it always gotta be them? Why does it always gotta be this and this, that and that? Like, do you not like my parents? Do you not like them? Do you not want to be around them? Eh, And then you can imagine how much more toxic it can get from there, and it normally always does. I don't understand the immaturity that lies behind those kind of arguments. I mean, in that perspective, I would immediately be throwing. I'd be throwing my hands up like, okay, so I mean, I see how you act. You know, for example, if the accusation was that my parents got to see the child the most, or comes over the most, or does the most, because they ask, or I say, well, the kid's going over this weekend, or they're babysitting throughout this week, whatever. And it gets, I got to think about how I just laid that scenario out for you. My bad. Arguing about who gets to see the most and the least, and why that's a problem. Like, I mean, if you can't come together like mature adults, obviously, if your significant other favors their parent about wanting to go over there, and for some reason I always see it in girls, um, Guys, not so much because they typically lean towards, independence, away from their parents, and they kind of keep it at a, consistent level that isn't all the time or every week, every weekend sort of thing. It's always like, okay, well, I got things going on. Gonna have to some other time, maybe next weekend. But it tends to be more of the female who wants to be with her mom and dad. Um, I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying what I'm seeing from what I am experiencing and from what I have experienced. Um, Ladies, you tend to favor your side for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. Not all women do it. Again, like I said, not everybody. I want that to be very clear. I'm not saying everyone. Every female, sorry. I'm not saying every female. Just for some reason it always seems majority of those couples, the woman tends to lean in favoritism towards their side of the family. And it's like always got something to do with them. Whether it's going out, seeing them on the weekend, seeing them throughout the week, doing more things and events with them. I If you can't be mature enough to look at it and go, oh, well, I mean, we have two sets of grandparents. Let's go over here. I'm sure they'd like to see them, from the boyfriend side or husband side, whatever. And then for them to be feel insulted and make a big deal out of like now their significant other is targeting their parents and they take insult to it, like you're trying to say something, you're trying to say it without saying it, kind of deal. I find that toxic. That's immature, and hopefully you don't have kids with someone like that. Get to know your partner before it comes down to that, because then you're stuck. You're screwed. In my opinion, I wouldn't be with him. I'd be out in a heartbeat. I don't I don't mess with people who have childish tendencies when it comes to their attitude and behavior. What, being immature, can't talk things through like adults. That fucking react in the most negative ways possible when bringing up said problems. Nope. You don't need that in your life. Boot 'em. Boot 'em. And yeah, I think I'll leave that there for this episode. I'll come back with another episode very soon, hopefully. We'll see how things are going. Uh, as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by, giving a view, give me a thumbs up, Throw some comments down below. See if you like it or not. Maybe some requests about what topics to talk about. I'm more than willing and I'm able to do it. So I appreciate you guys. As always, have a good night.